Alright, here we go with another awesome how-to video. Today, I'm going to show you how to make your very own two-tone swim baits. So in this example, we got an olive green, but I think for this video, I'm going to make some black tails with cream white body. These are coming from my 3-inch Ripper, my Do-It Ripper swim bait mold. So what you're going to need to do this, clearly you're going to need a mold. So this is the 3-inch Do-It Ripper mold. You're going to need an injector, right? You need your plastisol, going to need your pigment powders, going to need your glass anchor hawking, Pyrex, whatever. You're going to need your glass measuring cup. You need some clamps to hold the mold as tightly as possible. Now we're dealing with super hot melted plastic, so we're definitely going to need gloves. What else? Oh, duh. I have the microwave behind me, so as soon as I'm ready to go and get done with this intro, I'll pull the microwave up here and we'll get started. But because we're dealing with melted plastic and it does have bad fumes, I am going to be using my my respirator mask here. I do have a fan, a shot fan on my right blowing out, as well as the garage door up, so it has as much ventilation as I can get in here. But I'm still going to be wearing my mask, so throughout the process of melting, injecting, whatever, I'll be using captions below, not talking, so you just have to follow along. And for all of you that say I'm moving at a snail's pace, that hate the videos because they move slow, I don't care. It's my video, not yours, so I can do it at the speed I want. And again, it's to really explain the details, things that through trial and error that I'm finding work and don't work. If you don't want to listen to them, it's perfectly fine. Otherwise, just enjoy the video. Hopefully you learned something. If you don't, I'm not sorry. I learned a lot. But without further ado, let's get started. Alright, first things first. My garage is about 55 to 57 degrees right now. So these this cast aluminum mold and this injector are quite cold right now. And the last thing you want to try to do is inject super hot melted plastisol into a frozen or really cold mold. The moment that plastic hits this aluminum mold, it's going to start curing and hardening right away. It may or may not make it into that tail cavity. Not saying it needs to be hot, because that plastic is really hot by itself, but I do suggest warming it up quite a bit before you try to start injecting into it. So typically I'll use a heat gun, but in this case my heat gun actually broke last night as I was making some stuff and using it. So I'm going to go ahead and use just a blowtorch, just to again warm this whole thing up and get it ready for injecting the plastic into it. And again, it doesn't have to be hot. I'm just trying to get it to warm up to where it's, you know, in that maybe 60, 70 degree range, 80 degree range by the time I'm ready to pour it, instead of the 55 degrees that it's at right now. Go ahead and just warm this baby up. Get these cavities, especially the tail. Get that tail, since it's such a small void, small area. I want to get that opening heated as much as possible so that the melted plastic has no issue, no problem going into there. Heat this up first as well. Heat up the outside as well as the inside. Again, not to get it super hot, I'm just warming it up so it's not cold. Same thing with the lid, the top, get that warmed up. Okay, should be good enough. Go ahead and turn this off. See that? Yeah, it's warm. Probably about 80, 85 degrees, so not too hot at all. Now go ahead and close that off. I'm going to go ahead and use my clamps. Okay, get a clamp. I'm going to clamp both sides of this, so that way it's as tight as it can be on both sides. So you got an injector, you got a injection area here in the front, right there, and another one back here. This mold makes can do up to 5 swim baits at a time. We'll go to our storefront at StartFishingToday.com www.startfishingtoday.com/storefront to see all the materials used for this video and any and all other materials that I use and recommend. Okay, so we got that all situated. We'll put this injector down here for a little bit. Okay, that's all ready. And now for the plastic. So here I have this is an Anchor Hawking. There's also Pyrex and God, I don't know how many others there are, but I get this on Amazon, or you can go to your local store, whatever. They're not that expensive. But I'm gonna go ahead and get this cleaned out. Now, just for the sake of this video, since I'm not gonna be doing a lot, I'm probably gonna use maybe half cup of plastic in here, maybe a little less, because the first pour is just gonna be for the tails. Sorry, I completely missed that part. So the first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna mix the color to make the tail, and we're gonna inject the tail color in here, and then work our way forward from there. And so this is the hard formula that you can get from Barlow's. And this is their internal brand, Barlow's Plastisol. So I'm gonna go ahead and shake this for about a minute, get all the hardener that's on the bottom, get everything all mixed up. Okay, now I'm gonna go ahead, now that that's all mixed up, you wanna mix it for about a minute. After you pour this and get a couple rounds or a couple swim baits in your hands, feel them. If you want harder swim baits, you can buy the Barlow's hardener as well as the Plastisol, or the softener. So Barlow's has a hard, medium, soft formula, so you can get any of the three and then add softener or hardener to make it the consistency or the feel that you want or that you're looking for. So with this, I'm going to go ahead and put in probably maybe about half a cup, maybe a little less. That's good enough. Again, this is just for the tail, so I don't need a lot of plastic for this. Now for the color, I'm just going to go ahead, and this is just going to be black. You can make it whatever color you want, but I have had great experience just doing plain black on these tails. So I'll go ahead and take a little bit of black, put it in there. Actually, I might as well be generous. I want the whole thing to be black. Not a translucent black, I want this thing black. Alright, that should work. That's good enough. Now again, there's no specific formula, there's no specific amount I use. I just mix and play it by ear, trial and error. These fish don't care. A lot of people will heat the plastic up first and then mix. I like to mix the powder in beforehand, because it's very messy when you put the plastic in or put the powder in after the plastic is melted. So I just put it in first. If I was doing the cream color, which we'll do for the body after this, but if I was doing a cream color or light color right now, I would put a few drops of this heat stabilizer in there to help prevent as much yellowing as possible, because the more you heat up and reheat this Plastisol, the more tendency it has to yellow and discolor. So keep that in mind we'll keep that in mind for when we do the body of the swim bait. So we'll go ahead, and that's pretty much, it's not going to be total black. I'll probably have to add some more, but most of it's in there right now. So one thing I do want to note before I start this is, once I start cooking this, I mean, I do have a shop vac blowing a fan, and I have the garage open, but this does put out quite a bit of fumes. So I am going to be wearing my respirator from here on out until take a break and do the other part of the two-tone. But for now, while I'm heating and pouring, I'm going to be using this mask, so you'll just have to follow along on the captions. So I'll go ahead and do this first for about a minute and a half, and then we'll check it every 30 seconds after that. Alright, so those are all injected in there. Garage is cleared out so I don't have the fumes going on, but what I'm showing you here is as the plastic cools down, it shrinks, right? So usually if I was doing the body, if I was doing a whole swim bait and cared about the whole thing, I would have put enough plastic into my injector to where I could backfill this as it cooled. I'd backfill this up with plastic, get it all the way up to the top as much as possible. But since all I'm doing are the tails with this color, I'm not going to worry about that. And I have some ice water here, so as soon as I take them out of here, I'm going to put them in the ice water, really getting them to harden right away, and then go to the next step of making the body. So for now, this is cooled off enough. I'm going to go ahead and take these clamps off, see what we got here. Move that down there. Let's open this up, see what we got. Alright, so I didn't have enough plastic actually in there. So again, if I had enough plastic, this would be full. So we got 3 to work with. So that's good. Good enough. So I'm going to go ahead and put this aside for a moment. There goes my screwdriver again. Alright, so now all I'm going to do, I'm going to clip these off, throw them into the water, let them do a quick cure. Boom, boom, boom. I'm going to take this leftover, I'm going to put it back into this Pyrex here, or anchor hawking, whatever, this glass measuring cup. Let that actually sit now. It's actually kind of still steaming a little bit, so I'm going to set that aside and then come back in a minute or so and start up the next process here in this two-tone. Back in a minute. Alright, let's dry these off. I mean, if I was looking for a black swim bait by itself, nailed it! Alright, but I didn't, so. Alright, so here's what we got. We got 3 swim baits with black tails. Now, as you saw when I was introing the video, this thing is a two-tone, right? So as you can imagine, yep, that's what we're gonna do. Cut the tails off. Right about yeah, is good. Same with this one. Trim this up a little bit, get that flashing off there. That side too. Done. Go ahead and trim that guy. 2 tails. This will go into that leftover or that spare dark color mix. I'll use those for tails in the future. Or black swim baits. If you're fishing at night, you want to make some black swim baits, there you are. Alright, not quite. I left that a little short. That's not what I want. Not ideal, but oh well. Alright, put those aside for now. Alright, now we're going to go ahead and take the mold again. Since we only got 3 tails, we'll work on this side. But here's where the petroleum oil comes into play. Left that back here. We're going to go ahead. Don't put any oil on this part, because that's where the rest of the swim bait needs to melt to. But you're going to put the oil just on the tail part, the part that's gonna, you guessed it, slide right back into the tail slot on these 3 cavities. If you don't put it on, it's really hard. If you don't put the oil on, it's really hard to get it to slide back in. So we just kind of coat this stuff on the outside, set that aside, get it off my hands. Okay, we'll take the first one. And slide it into that cavity. Like so. Do that with the next one. Again, reminder, you don't want any of the oil on this part that is going where the rest of the body of the swim bait is going to connect to. If you don't put the oil on it, it's really hard to get these tails to slide right back into the cavities. Alright, but there you have it. They're right back into the cavities that they came out of. Now here's the tricky part also, is making sure that they slide right back in. So let's see if I can get this in the right angle. And boom. It's as close as you're gonna get. Alright, so that's done. Put that aside. Oops, put that there. Grab this little screwdriver again. Grab the clamps. That's one. Two. Perfect. Now we're good to make the body. Now again, we're going to make a cream white body. So I'll have my Marblers colorant. Go ahead. This is a new, it's good to have about 2 or 3 different of these glass measuring cups, so you can make, again, multiple different color swim baits or whatever you want to do, multi-tone, dual tone. Go ahead and mix this bottle again, and I'll do about again, for the sake of this video, I don't need a lot, so I'll do another, maybe a little under half cup. That's good enough. And again, like I did with the black, I'm going to go ahead and mix this pearl, this cream white pearl in there before I start heating up. On a good white. That's good. Okay. Done deal there. Go ahead and get the other screwdriver. Right over here. Get all any excess black I had on there. Mix this thoroughly. And now that we're going to be doing the body, I am going to be putting some of that heat stabilizer in there because I don't want this to get super yellow. Now the plastic itself already has some of this heat stabilizer mixed in it, but I'm going to do about 3 or 4 drops extra just to make sure that it has some anti-yellowing in it. Don't put too much, otherwise it tends to ruin it. I think too much speeds it up. I could be wrong there, but it just seems like when I use a little bit too much, it does yellow real fast and I ruin a whole batch. So just be careful, be very gentle with the coloring. All right. Same thing with the black. I'm gonna go ahead and heat this up for 1:30 to start, and then 30-second increments after that. But I will have my mask on until the process is done, so captions below. let's take a look. Moment of truth. See how it did. Woo! Look at that. Look at those. Alright, go ahead and trim these up real quick. Put them in the water. And then give it a couple of minutes. Do a final check on them. Okay. Put them in the water. Then we'll look. Alright, so here they are, fresh out of the water. Let's take a look. Alright, first take off all this extra little flashing here. It's like extra over pour. A couple there on the white. A little bit on the black here. I guess I could do this later. Get to the more important part. Cool. So there's your two-tone. Boom. Beautiful. There's one. There's a second one. Look at that. Perfect. These things are going to get slammed. Bass, halibut, whatever. Two-tone. 3-inch ripper swim baits with the Do It mold, ripper aluminum mold. But yeah, there it is. Hope you enjoyed this part of the video. That's how we make them. Again, this is the Barlow's liquid plastic hard formula, SKU 407109. It's the gallon size. And like I was saying, if you want it to be harder than what comes standard in this, they have the plastic hardener 405017. You can get both of these from Barlow's. Again, to get these, you can either see down below, or you can go to our storefront at startfishingtoday.com/storefront to see all these products as well as everything I use. But as far as instructions for this hardener, if you want it to be harder, mix 1 tablespoon hardener per 1 cup of liquid plastic for stiffer. And if you still want more, you can add more hardener. But yeah, so there you go. Two-tone swim baits. Now, let's take a look at some fishing footage to see if these actually catch some fish. There it is. There it is. Yep. Nice one. Nice. There it is on the first fish on this two-tones. There it is. Phew. Nice. And those two-tones, black tail, white body. Phew. Nice little guy, probably about 13-inch, maybe 12. Phew. Right. Let's get this guy unpinned back out in the water. Hold on, bud. There you go. Nice little fish. Yep, there you have it. They work. Two-tone on the Do It 3-inch ripper mold. Got the 3.5-inch single bait on the other rod. Give that a try here soon. But yep, there it is. Two-tone.